Okay, it is 11:50. I had a McFlurry double cheeseburger and coffee. I finished it about 9:55. I'm going on a 40-day, 40-night fast. This is actually my second take because I had to restart because I realized you can't curse on YouTube. So basically, this is where I'm at. I want to document the experience and what I'm going through it. I know it seems absurd, 40 days and 40 nights fast, but basically I'm trying to live out something that someone told me is false, fake. Basically, I've been called delusional, schizophrenic, and all these things because I may have told people that I believe I'm the son of God. Not that I am, but that I believe. I mean, I find it rather interesting that people can believe in a magic sky man that's going to come out of a horse, but you can't believe that you are him. It's like, I note that it might be an absurd belief, but it's a belief nonetheless, and it can't be considered a delusion because Christianity is a prevalent belief in my culture. It's just that the belief is centered around someone invisible in the sky rather than the individual. Now, here's the thing, is that I've been homeless for about 6 days. I decided to go on this fast because I wanted to test an idea, and I'm gonna keep records. I'm gonna make videos, and my friend Bob here that I met the other day, he said he's gonna hang out with me, spot me, and gonna engage in this with me. I would introduce you to him right now, but he's knocked out sleep. He's knocked out. Excuse the voice thing. I have a lisp. I'm trying to work on it. I'm working on my little speech therapy thing. I learned that I speak through when I say the S word, I speak through the side of my mouth rather than the front. And I went through speech therapy as a kid for a long time, but they never fully explained to me why I had a lisp, and because for some reason I got comfortable just speaking out on my side, just lazily speaking out on my side, rather than the front like I was supposed to when it comes to the S's and the But I'm working on it. I have plenty of time to work on that. So here's the thing: is about I'm shit out of luck. I don't have any money. I mean, don't have any money. I don't have. I don't have my birth certificate. I don't have my social security card. Basically, I'm broke on the street. 6 days, no relative life experience. Autistic. I have a sprained wrist and I pulled a muscle in my leg, so I'm really uncomfortable and in pain right now. But I decided, hey, I'm still gonna record all this. So I want to tell you my story. About 6 years I got locked up for walking to a hospital for, I went in basically my brother dared me that if I believed I was the son of God that I would go in and tell a doctor. So I did. 8 words, and immediately the doctor walks off, doesn't want to talk to me about why. Well, I can't really. I'm at this point I'm kind of brain damaged and I'm trying to explain something really difficult and what sounds really absurd to someone who probably hears it all the time. Like, I understand that, but it's like I had a pretty good reason for believing what I believed. Now, so I said that doctor worked out. I tried to leave before he put a hold on me. Security guard put his hand around me, and I sucked the shit out of him. Because I'm like, no, please excuse my language. Just in this first video, I don't really have a way to edit them right now. I'm pretty sure the S word is okay on YouTube. It's not like the F word or anything like that. It's not really considered a curse word, I think. It's not. I mean, they say it on TV all the time. But, so I hit him in the face. Then I made a lot of vague threats, and they strapped me to a table, pretty much injected me with drugs, and basically spent the last 6 years dragging me into insanity. Because they immediately diagnosed with schizophrenia with no relative, they didn't actually diagnose me. They just simply said you're schizophrenic. I was like, well, that's not how psychology works. You have to actually note my symptoms and make a diagnosis based on my symptoms, not just come up with a diagnosis on the fly. That's a prognosis. That's not a diagnosis. Like, you can't. That's like what I think is. What I think the solution is this problem. It's like you don't even know what the problem is. You can't fix it yet. It's like that would be antipsychotics would be a treatment for schizophrenia, but I'm not schizophrenic. I'm autistic, and I was undergoing through a meltdown / psychosis. But I'm not going to get better if you're not treating the right. I mean, there are overlaps in schizophrenia and autism. They share the same genes, but here's the thing: is that sort of your eye color and your hair color. It's like they share the same genes, but you don't. Not everyone has blonde hair or blue eyes. Not everyone looks exactly the same. It's like same genes, just different expression. So similar is not the same in any capacity. But anyway, so I've been through some crap for the last 6 years. I kind of got out of it. I kind of dug my way out of what can for all intents and purposes be called hell. So I want to document how all this started. It was about 8 years ago. 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I smoked DMT. August 4th. About 7 years ago. August 4th, 2012. I smoked DMT for the first time a couple times. Once in the evening, once in the morning, once in the evening. I basically took a small dose in the morning and a double dose in the evening. And so the first time I took a hit, it was the most natural feeling I've ever had in my entire life. But I hunched over and I was saying the F word over and over and over and over and over again. And I could feel the wind blowing through the grass. I could feel everything. And it was, the few hours afterwards, I was more serene than I've ever been in my entire life. And that was cool. And so I was like, when I got a chance to do it again, I doubled up. So, I hit it, the second time I hit the pipe, the guy pulls the pipe away, and I look over to the side, and there's this clown with his head cocked over to the side looking at me. And then the sky falls and crashes and shatters, and I'm suddenly in this, like a weird kind of monad thing. But it's like a circle within a circle within a circle within a circle within a circle. I'm kind of like, and I'm twisting and turning, trying to find the right combination and popping up as something. And then I go back down and I start twisting and turning again and pop up as something else. Like I was trying to find the right configuration, kind of find the right shape, if you will. And then, like, a little while into that, I start to notice that things are not quite what they seem. I'm in this, I have strings coming out of my. It's kind of like a womb. I have strings coming out of my belly button, and then I hear these people talking, and then I see this like woman peeking through the cracks of my trip. She's like peeking through, looking at me and watching me, and then she's in front of me, and then she's walking up to me. She sits on my lap and puts her arms around me, and we kind of mesh together into this like warmy soup and become a patch of psilocybin mushrooms. And I could like feel this, like I still remember what the mushroom flesh feels like, my arm, my hands on my arms. It's and then I ended up as a tree, and then finally as a purple cat on my back, like batting something above my head. Someone was like dangling like a feather or a string above my head. I was like batting at it like a cat. And I jump up, I wake up, and I'm like, whoa. I start going around feeling on stuff like, oh, this is real, this is real, this is real. Okay. And for like the next 45 minutes, I'm in this post-trip euphoria where I think I'm this cartoon purple cat, and I keep having all these images of like butterflies like coming out of their chrysalis and stuff. And yeah, I did joke that I downloaded basically the blueprints for butterflies, basically the butterfly source code. And so I kind of rolled with that for a while, and I ended up going to this party about a year later. This guy's wedding named Robbie. And I ended up doing some MDMA, and I start to really trip out because I start tripping out about acid for some reason, even though I've never done it before. I start tripping out about all the hippies around me. I'm like, man, what the hell is LSD? What the hell is it? What is it? Like I was so confused by it because I thought it was at first I thought it was like some kind of mind game or like a fake drug, it was just water or something, and like I was going nuts over it trying to get it, and I did purchase some, but I never ended up getting it. It's like I paid for it but I never got it, and kind of went nuts, and then had that whole hospital experience where they and so here's the thing is that, and I'm autistic, right? And my mom thought there was something wrong with me. So she took me into a whole bunch of doctors, and first one's like, no, there's nothing really wrong with them. You just want something to be wrong with them. It's like, well, she couldn't take that. She couldn't take that for an answer. She couldn't accept that there was nothing, wrong with me. So she eventually got me diagnosed with ADHD, right? And so they gave me Ritalin and later on Adderall. Now, amphetamines, they actually change the neuronal structure in the brain, the reward system, the dopamine system, one of the most important systems in the brain. It literally affects every part in the brain. So, and that's an adult. So imagine the effects it would have on a growing child. So I grew up all brain damaged and eventually not able to speak. For all intents and purposes, mute. People thought I was a heroin addict at one point because I would not interact with the world at all. Now, here, and yeah, so I got interested in LSD, and I ended up going to the hospital and all that stuff, and they gave me antipsychotics, mood stabilizers, and I've had a pretty bad track record with pharmaceuticals. Around the time I was 18, coming out of high school, I was brain damaged, and so I was depressed and anxious, and then they gave me antidepressants, antipsychotics, and tranquilizers, and I got all suicidal. And last time I tried to kill myself was on Elk Island, and I was like, when the doctor asked me if why should I be released, I was like, well, because I'm not going to do that again, because God has a plan for me, and I kind of rolled with that for a while. And yeah, I went to that party and then went to the hospital and got drugged again. And antipsychotics are not real medicine. No matter how much people tell you, it's like they will affect anyone. It's like giving someone alcohol. It's got to affect everyone that you give it to, because they're either dopamine antagonists or dopamine agonists, which are going to affect anyone, because again, one of the most major systems in the brain. So basically, they damage my reward system, and then they try to cover it up with antipsychotics. So they ended up doing more damage, messed up my hypothalamus, messed up my cortex, and then the mood stabilizers did a whole bunch of messed up my eyes. I started to lose hair, the front of my hair, and I went through that for a few years, and then I stumbled upon LSD about a year ago, and I took that and kind of went through a rapid transformation. Kind of went through a cognitive perceptual therapy kind of thing, where I went through I went through every one of my traumas, and I had to relive every trauma that I've ever had as a child over again, and put every moment into context. It was a really trying process, because I was in an environment where that was not conducive for that to happen, to reset your brain, basically, to going back to your factory settings. Which I want to talk more about that eventually, but I don't really have the time. I want to stop here. This is going to be my first video. We're going to keep documenting this. Me and Bob, we're going to document our experience as we go through this, and I'm not very good at this. This is my first video. I'm not used to be on camera. I'm kind of shy and awkward, but yeah.